Oh, you gained weight. Finished all the food on your plate. You lost weight. You should eat more. Your sister is thinner than you. These words might have been a passing comment, like a greeting, whenever I saw my relatives or people in my community as I grew up.
Hello there.
Hey,
How you doing today?
I'm good, man.
What is your name?
My name is Manuel Garcia.
Manuel, what brings you here today?
I'm here because a friend of mine said it'd be a good idea to come here and read some kind of letter. That's what I was told, something like that. Yeah. And so they were like, Manny, we think you would be good. Why don't you try it out? And I said, all right, let's go, man.
Well, definitely thank you for coming here. And they're right. To your right-hand side, there's a yellow envelope with a letter inside about somebody's journey. If you can, please open it and read it aloud to the camera.
Dear someone, in certain cultures, some comments about one's appearance are relatively normal, but they stung long after being said and forgotten in the fragile young mind. I never considered myself to be the pretty one. At least I didn't know that I also had beauty, considering that my sister was pretty and thin and the thin one. As for me, I had the brains and decided to dedicate myself to school. What lies these are. What lies these are. Siblings growing up inside the same house should rely on each other as allies. Instead, we plotted against each other in a never-ending cycle of comparison. After I left for college, I suffered a stressful period in which I put on 50 more pounds, causing my depression and anxiety about my weight to go out of control. I felt like a disaster and took matters in my own hands by deciding not to eat. Over a year, I dropped 20 pounds, and from my 5'3" frame, every time I looked at my newly thin body, I would feel a false sense of pride that encouraged me to keep going. But every ounce of energy that I had went into resisting the urge to eat. I felt cold all the time, depressed and anxious. I was worried that if I ate something, that it would ruin my diet, yet I was hungry all the time. Nobody could give me a sense of self-worth. My former boyfriends thought I was too thin, my parents were anxious, and I kept deep down inside what I was doing wrong. While I did not seek professional counseling for this body image disorder, I did receive a lot of help from selected trustworthy friends and mentors. This took a remarkable amount of courage on my part because I was scared to hear words of condemnation for my hidden problem. One of my defining life stages was moving in with my roommate, an older single lady whom I believe God has called to go through life changes with me. Neither of us were perfect, which was why the healing process of iron sharpens iron was so beautiful. We attended church and Christian women's conferences together where I learned to be myself in both inner and outer beauty according to Psalms 139. As I meditated on this, my confidence grew. We went shopping together and had fun dressing up and doing each other's hair and makeup, even if there was no real occasion. We cooked together and she helped me to lessen the anxiety of eating as I had completely forgotten how to eat a proper meal or how to know when I was truly full. This healing process took years and involved many steps and mistakes. I wish I had gotten professional help along the way. I might have made progress faster. But I'm truly thankful that I was able to do life with someone who was so invested in my growth as I was to hers. Now that I'm at a different stage of life, I look back with gratitude with those who've hidden years where I was able to deal with my personal issues to become the full and vibrant woman that I am today. God has given me back the energy and the joy that was stolen from me. Sincerely, someone. Would you be my voice?
What are your thoughts or emotions you're processing right now?
I can relate in a lot of ways. Um, Being a heavy set guy when I was younger, I recall I had a defense mechanism when people would try to make fun of me or my weight. I would go to two different things, either some kind of comedy, a joke, or if I was really brave that day, usually I would get defensive and use it as a mechanism to show no weakness. Back then, when I was younger, people were picked on and it was sort of done slick in a certain way, or they would make fun of you with a bunch of group of friends. And so I had my defenses. When you're a heavy set person, male or female, there's this mechanism that you always have. As you get older, it sort of leaves, but when you're younger, you always have your defenses up, thinking that people are already prejudging you because of your size and because you don't look as normal. And being that I had a sister who was also heavy, I would find myself defending her also because I was older than she was. And so when I think about this person, it being a female, I could see how my sister would have to have deal with that. And maybe many times she didn't even talk about it because it's just a struggle. You're dealing with it. You're having to have to deal with people's opinions. Although times have changed, people still do it differently now. Either if it's social media or if they see you in person, they're prejudging you like most people do as soon as they see you. But thank God this story ends different. It's like a vicious cycle. If you don't seek help at any point, you bottled it in and then eventually it blows up and either you get bigger or you get motivated to want to change. Because although we should be accepted for who we are and our size, some of us our DNAs are different, so we're built different. But at the same time, you shouldn't be judged for what you look like. And so, as I said, when you get older, it's different. But still, I've had cases now where people they're judging, and so they're trying to gauge where you're at, and then people make assumptions and correlate you being big by being lazy or not doing anything or not being driven. And after a while, man, if you let that thing get to you, it can wear you down. And so thank God for Jesus and thank God for knowing who you are, your identity, because if the world has enough time to tell you who you think you are, then you'll believe it. And so with this young lady, it's good to see she had a friend. And sorry that she had to go through that, but at the same time, I think she comes out of it stronger.
If she was here in front of you, what would you like to tell her?
You're a hell of an example of what it is to go through battle scars and come out the other side. And your friend, whoever that friend was, that roommate, that older lady, like that's a godsend, man. And when God sends you someone like that to help you find yourself or guide you through a season that's really tough. I think when I say something like walk you through a season, I mean that there could be a period of 4 or 5 months where we could be going through tremendous amount of trauma or stress or depression. And God will use somebody to walk you through those months to heal you. I feel like God used my son, my small son, to help me in this season of trying to obtain another kidney transplant. And so if my son is here for the next year, specifically to walk me through this, in this season, like I said, it could be 2 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. Nobody determines that. You determine that depending on how the healing process is going for you personally. That's what I consider a season. So when I said that, I meant it in the sense of that older lady helped that younger lady walk through that season of her not knowing her worth, her beauty, her inner beauty, and walking her through with all the things they did together to walk her to the end, to the finish line. Hi, my name is Manuel, and I'll be your voice.
Thank you.
All right, bro. Made me think about my childhood, dog. Straight up. I remember like a dude bullied my sister, bro. I was like in the second or third grade. Some dude he bullied my sister.